Now for the last 2 or 3 years now, there's been this idea that's been stuck in my head.
We can fucking do this. Insane.
If there's like one thing that we've come to realize over the last couple months of building this thing is that it's fucking hard, like it's difficult. Then I got reminded by a thing that one of my closest friends said to me, which was that this has like been my dream since I was a little kid.
But even though that dream seemed nice in theory, I didn't have a clue where to even start. And yet, somehow, 3 months later, we just finished shooting our very first agency production in Japan. One of the most intense, chaotic, and rewarding experiences we've ever had.
Wow.
This was great!
Yeah.
I didn't just want to jump from one client project to the next. I wanted to actually build something that could have a team of creatives that you can like rely on and trust, and that you can learn from and grow with to kind of be part of something bigger.
And what this means is that we're starting our very own creative agency and filmmaking academy called Outline. Time to go on an adventure. Woo! With which we plan to create work for some of the sickest brands in the world in some of the craziest places, all whilst sharing case studies for every single production we do to give you an inside look into exactly what goes on behind the scenes of planning, filming, editing and executing on these projects. And on this channel, we're bringing you along for every step of that journey. The lessons, the chaos, the wins, the losses, the gear, the creative decisions, all of it.
Okay, cheers, camera.
Cheers.
Now, I started this entire process by taking all of the thoughts that I had in my head and putting them on a blank canvas in Milanote. And this way I started to give some structure to those ideas, and I started to connect ideas, and I started to take things away, to add things. And yeah, pretty quickly I realized like this thing is going to be so big and going to have so many different elements. It's going to be counterproductive if I try to keep control of all the different things and try to keep everything within my own reach.
And so in the midst of this process, I realized that I really needed someone to help me bring this idea to life. Not only someone that I could share some of the responsibilities with, but especially someone that was equally as excited as I was.
There was really one person that stood out and whose eyes lit up every time I started talking about this. That person was Moos.
I'm Moos.
Now, Moos has been in the business world himself for about 6 or 7 years now, and he just recently exited his very own agency to pursue a new passion of his, which was filmmaking.
A year ago, I decided to quit all of my endeavors and to pick up a camera, which was also inspired by Ray. But then the problem was that I wasn't utilizing my 6 years of business knowledge. And then Ray told me about this idea, and I was like, fuck, this is exactly where I can combine this huge passion that I have for filmmaking with all the business skills. And when I saw that vision, we just thought, fuck it.
We're gonna do it? I think we might do it, yeah.
And little me at 13 years old would have absolutely loved to see someone go on this journey of turning a passion, which was making videos and editing stuff, turning a passion into an actual business. I wouldn't have just wanted to see the highlights. Like I would have wanted to see the difficult moments and the struggles and the things that went wrong and the lessons that were learned. And I feel like that was exactly the motivation to starting this channel, to starting Inside Outline, where we want to take you with us on this entire journey of building this company and kind of making this dream, this vision that we have of making that an actual reality. This thing that we're building, which is not only a production agency with which we want to make work for some of the sickest brands in the world, but it's also a community-driven academy, basically, in which we want to make all of the tools that are associated with these bigger agency productions. We want to make all of those tools and insights and previously kind of gate-kept knowledge, we want to make that accessible to anyone that has a vision, that has an idea, and that has a dream, and that kind of wants to bring that to life. But to show you where we are right now, I think it's best to kind of take you back 4.5 months ago to where all of this really started, back to day one.
Day one.
Day one, we're doing it.
We're talking about what team roles we're going to need within the agency. and also for the YouTube behind the scenes, and for the paid educational content. All of that needs to be managed, and we need to have a website for that, and front end and back end, and
It's
people.
all starting here.
Yeah, in this extremely chaotic Millinode board. On the 3rd of January 2025.
We're in such an interesting phase right now where Reilin had this master plan in his head, and I'm starting to understand the master plan more and more, in which we're mapping out everything. And almost every day we've been kind of losing track of time, and we've been looking outside and we're like, fuck, another day passed. It's already dark again. Every day we're thinking of new things, and we're improving on the things that we already have. And to be able to do that for a long period of time, and then to chip away every single day, to make small improvements every single day, and to see it slowly come to life, until eventually building something so exciting and so big, is so fulfilling.
And we're only on day 7, so it's the very
beginning of the beginning of the beginning.
Next to all of that, we also have a million other things that we kind of needed to take care of. A very long list of stuff that took a lot of time to figure out. And one of those million other things was the overall branding of this company. Like, we had to think about the look and feel of the branding. We had to think about a name. We had to come up with a proper identity for what we want this thing to be.
Today we figured out we want to find someone that can work with us on a very short notice before we leave to Bali. And in 3 hours we found the perfect person who creates beautiful branding and websites for the most prestigious brands in Amsterdam. And Friday we're gonna do a full day with them.
And that's why we kind of sat down with a guy called Matthijs, a super talented creative from the agency Atoms Amsterdam. And we basically had a full day of brainstorming with him to create the first base layer of the branding that we want to give this thing that we're building.
We have a very big and exciting day today, which is finalizing on a lot of the branding that we're doing and finally picking a name. We've been brainstorming for like 3 hours about the name, and we said after lunch we need to finalize the name.
We're gonna have to make a decision pretty soon.
It's gonna be Outline.
No, we don't know. We don't know. Anything could still happen.
We made it!
2 years of looking. Wait. This is what my research for names looked like. So I started with like a word map, a little bit of a word universe, and then I just started endlessly looking for names that fit my brand, and I just could not find it. And the list goes on.
Scrolling.
And now we found it.
Today is the day that we settled on boom! Outline. And we're testing all the different possibilities right now. And it indeed feels fucking good. It feels like we made a big leap yesterday.
We sat with this guy for maybe, what was it?
8 hours?
8 hours?
Yeah.
We basically gave him quite a lot of input. It was probably a bit too much input at the beginning, and he kind of started to give a little bit of shape to this bundle of ideas that we handed him. And once we had a bit more of a clear vision for what we want to build, once we highlighted some of the core values, and like Moos said, once we tied some personalities to the brand, then that provided a really good base to start brainstorming about a name for the company.
There were a bunch of resources and websites and a brand book itself that we used for reference, and a bunch of other stuff that we used in that meeting. And as part of this thing that we're building, we're also starting an email list, which you can sign up to down below, where we'll be sending out as much value as we possibly can every single week. And we'll be sharing these kinds of tools that we used. We used some tools for finding fonts, for example, for finding the right color schemes, finding which colors fit together the best. We found a bunch of other really useful websites that we're gonna give to you for free in the email list if you're interested in that.
But one of the things that was really helpful was
working on the branding with someone else outside of the brand that has a new and like, fresh perspective on what you're working on. Now, one of the next big decisions that we had to make was to choose where our base would be for at least the next couple of months. And I know we're not the first, entrepreneurs, creative entrepreneurs or influencers to do this, but BALI for us has kind of been like a space where it's so easy to connect with other creatives. Within a few months, we had such a special community of other really inspiring creative people there that that's just something really special that we couldn't really find anywhere else in the world.
It just feels right.
It just feels right, and we're really looking forward to get out of this cold and grey weather every single day. And this time, like you said the other day, it feels different going back because we kind of have a mission. We have a thing that we want to achieve, and BALI can also be a place where you can kind of get lost in the comfort of just nice gyms and nice pools and nice food and everything's chill. But now that we have like something that we can work on, it feels like
it's going to be a different BALI experience for sure. It was good to see family, but it's time to go.
To get the fuck out of here.
Apa kabar?
Guys, I cannot stress enough how big of a life hack it is to have location freedom, and I actually think it's one of the main first goals you should have as a creative entrepreneur. I woke up this morning, I went outside, I got kissed by the sun, I did my movement, my scooter was delivered, I got 10 liters of coconut water delivered by my favorite delivery guy. And all of these things make me so incredibly happy. I can already feel so much more life inside of me compared to the last month in the Netherlands. And to have that compound day after day will make such a huge difference in your life, in your career, is so important. And I'm incredibly grateful that I have it, and that this is our life.
Thing that we had to take care of was to find an HQ, a place to live, but also much more than that, because we were kind of going to build the Outline brand around this place. A home that felt a bit more like a place that we could come back to after a long day of work.
What are we doing, bro?
Villa number 1. Oh! We just arrived. I'm a little tired.
But we are looking for Outline headquarters.
I really do believe
this is very special.
Something's got a hold on me here. Oh, it must be love. Oh, something's got a hold on me right now, child. Oh, it must be love. Let me tell you now, I've got a feeling, I feel so strange. Everything about me seems to have changed. Step by step, I got a brand new walk. I even sound sweeter when I talk. I said,
we have viewing number 96, 69.
That is what it is.
We've lost count, and we found a very decent option that feels well.
Most found it, because I'm not doing it. And so we spent literally the next 3 weeks kind of jumping from Airbnb to Airbnb and doing about 3 viewings on average every day, until we actually stumbled across this super interesting Indonesian guy called Felix, who had built this insane villa near Canggu. This is exactly what he told us a couple minutes after us viewing this villa and being absolutely like blown away by it.
Yeah, it's a rock and roll style.
It is. It's incredible.
Because you contract the places yourself, and you design yourself.
Yes, I believe that.
But this place you didn't design.
I don't drawing.
It was all in your hands, and because you have the building experience, you could just
Exactly.
build it with your company.
I put column here, I say with my water, put wall here, and then I see, oh, what I put here will be in here, this area will be living room, is one room, like this.
So it was completely intuitive.
Yeah.
Intuitively built.
Although we unfortunately didn't end up choosing Felix's place, this felt like a super representative kind of metaphor for what we were going through. If you're in the beginning process of building something, you don't have a roadmap of what you need to do. Like there are so many things, so many decisions you need to make that are so important for the decisions that follow after that. And if you don't really know where you want to go yet, and you're trying to figure things out, it kind of feels like you're going up and down and in circles, and you're going backwards and forwards. And it's such a process of just like trusting your gut, like pushing through, being disciplined with tasks that you need to take care of, and of kind of having that unwavering belief in the dream and the initial fuel and the mission that you set out on, and to kind of just push through. And I feel like that's what Felix also did. With building this incredible house. Just a week after that, Moos and I finally found literally the perfect space where we felt like, okay, this is the Outline HQ. From the moment we entered this place, we were like, okay, yeah, this feels right. And so 1 hour after we had the viewing of this second place, we were like, okay, this is it.
We drove from the jungle villa to the main road, and that like little road alone, super short drive, maybe 1.5 minutes, was already like, wow. Are we gonna do it?
Yes. Yes.
So we've got a villa.
Yeah.
In Bali.
I think so. Fuck it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
It feels unreal. It feels really unreal.
Feels like yet another step in the outline process.
And so once we finally found the place that we wanted to settle into, and we wanted to use as the foundation for everything that was to come, we started to get back to work.
So I'm setting up our task/project management tool. We decided to go for Notion. It's been quite a learning curve. So here we have all the projects that we're currently working on, and then within those projects, you have tasks, and then those tasks will be here. There are all these little moving parts that aren't completely there yet, but just have to break through that, and then it's set up.
Why are you using Notion? Like, what are you setting up within Notion?
Notion is just very customizable, and you can add a lot of different things. So now we're going to use it for the tasks, but eventually it's going to be very good for the content planning, for the whole outline of the content that we're going to produce, also financial projections, and so many more things. You can have everything in Notion.
And so it was time to start finding and outreaching some of the brands that we wanted to work with this agency. We also had the goal of not using any of my existing client base that I had as a freelance filmmaker, but to kind of try and do our best to find a system that works for people that are starting out in this business, in this industry, whether you're a solo filmmaker or you're starting your own agency. And so we kind of set out on this mission to find ways in which we could outreach some of these brands that we wanted to work with, really ambitious brands, by the way. And now it felt like we finally entered like the second building phase of Outline.
Happy Monday, Ray.
Happy Monday, Moos.
How are you feeling?
Pretty fucking good. This week we're really going to focus on actually finding some clients to work with, because as of today we have 29 days left until we have to leave Bali, and before that time we have to find a client to work with, because we have to get this first production off the ground. Because if we don't, the entire timeline that we've planned for all of the productions after, for the different phases of building the company, they kind of they're fucked. So what we're doing right now is we're making a list of all of the potential clients that we want to try and target. This is what that looks like a little bit.
Boom.
I've made a very long list, maybe 60, 70 different types of brands in the fashion, automotive and product sector. So some tech brands, some clothing brands, some car brands. And the only thing is that we're just realizing that we've set the bar
Extremely high. We have to be a little bit crazy to do amazing things.
Yeah, maybe we do have to aim a little bit higher than we were initially expecting. Just to fuck it, why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's see what happens.
We have to approach it this way. We're fucked if we don't get this first production in the next 29 days. So this week will be an insane outreach grind, or otherwise find some other very creative ways to get it going, because we have to.
We've created the system, we have a plan, we know how to outreach, but
will they actually respond within the time frame, and will we be able to plan a production so soon whilst also getting the team members on board? That's the question. Like, I'm not sure within 4 weeks, 3.5.
Long story short, time to look.
Yes, it's time to look in.
And so in the next episode of Inside Outline, we're going to take you with us inside or behind the scenes of what it looks like to find that first partner that trusted us with our vision. Because it's one thing, of course, to lay the foundation and to make all of these plans and come up with ideas, but you gotta actually like take action. You wanna actually make something and actually get the first lead and pitch to them. And you know, this entire process kind of started here. We've also got an incredibly exciting meeting planned with a business owner and an online personality that we've looked up to for a long time. And that conversation, along with finally furnishing this new place that we found, also hosting our first kind of little community meetup here, all of that is what's waiting for you in the next couple of episodes. Just to come back to the point that I made at the beginning of this video, I know that all of these things and these people that you see online building their own business and founding their own thing can feel really intimidating. And I know that I myself in the past have felt really intimidated because of other people, you know, doing all of these ambitious things. But what I've come to realize is it's much less about where all of these other people are, and you never know how much help they've had on the back end or how much time they've actually spent building this thing. But as long as you focus on taking the first step for yourself, and as long as you stay true to that dream that you have, even if that dream is just to make your first project that feels authentic to you and that gives someone your perspective on the world, like that already is so much more important than any founder's journey or any building in public episode or whatever. So yeah, hopefully if you take away anything from this video, it's that if you have a dream, if you have this idea of something that you want to achieve, that you want to do, even if it's tiny, even if it's massive, just focus on like one step that's in front of you and like take that step and then keep taking steps until you feel like you're getting closer. That's all I can say so far, because we're also still in that process. But yeah, I feel like that concludes episode 1 of Inside Outline. We've got a ton of super exciting things planned for the next coming episodes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Yeah, it's a nice setup, huh?
Yeah, but also it just in general made me realize what we're building.
Yes, I agree. Wait till you see the video.
Yes, I can't wait. Because this motherfucker doesn't show me things in the middle because that messes with his creative process. So the only thing he tells me is, bro, I made so much progress on the edit today. It is going to be so epic. And then I'm just left with nothing.
Yes.
So today or tomorrow is going to be a big day because I finally get to see what this guy has been cooking up.
I'm sorry about that.